Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the IASP HLL charity tournament. In this matchup, we have Never Play Alone versus the 7th Cab. This is round 3, match 4, the last match of this whole event. I'm joined by First Lieutenant Rob.
Hey everybody, Sparrow, looks like we might have to just check teams. I got a little scrambled on the map flip.
Really?
Looks like
No, it doesn't look like it.
it's people have self-corrected. Let's just double check because goal and a couple guys ended up on the wrong sides. Alright, looks like we're good. So we got a full 40 from Never Play Alone, and we got about 38 now for 7 Cav.
It should be interesting. I wonder. Now, we've seen this particular point been fought over before between
BDSQ and the
Hold on. I'm not going to let you get this wrong. It's BDSQ, KRT, and DKB versus Big Red One and the Line, all right?
I'm very proud of you.
All right. I eventually have gotten all the names correct of all the teams at some point. So I wonder if we're going to see if they're going to set up a tank on Hill 15, as that was a pretty devastating position. Looks like they're fielding 3 armor units. They've got a transport truck full of people pushing onto the point. So as we get underway, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, meanwhile, 7 Cav has, I think, made the right decision to pretty much give up on the troop transport. It looks like they're getting a couple, maybe one squad in there now late. But yeah, with that troop transport spawned in the south so far, I don't see it getting much energy. They also got, they had their light tank spawn in the north, which could have been a great asset for them, but they're just too slow to the punch. That would have been a great position to maybe get a pick or two on enemy vehicles. But 7 Cav is fielding 3 tanks, and their supply truck is already getting up onto the field. And we'll see if either team's able to pick a supply truck early here. 7 Cav supply truck's coming down the road.
Huh. We got submarine transport moving in on the north side of North Pass, and NPA is already across the river and in the town.
Yep. So NPA with the faster maneuver, getting on the point early.
Yeah, they just unloaded everybody from this transport truck right on top of the point, so they are on top of it. Transport trucks moving in quick to try and maybe give them some supplies for a garrison, but we'll see what happens here. A 7th Cav just way too slow onto the point.
Yep. And it's tricky to drive that supply truck from the middle around. I think this, every time we've seen this North Pass, definitely a significant advantage for the Axis team getting in here first, even though they have to get across that river. They just have the straighter route to the point. Meanwhile, 7 Cav could have gotten their light vehicle up there faster. They could have run a pick maneuver, but just too slow on the get-go.
Yeah, NPA is all spread out throughout this town with Delexi United and Squid Squad.
Dyslexics
United.
Untied.
Oh, is it Untied?
Dyslexics Untied. There you go, buddy. Got you.
All right. Dyslexics Untied Squad and Squid Squad already on the point. I see a massive 7th Cav spawn coming in.
Yeah.
That 76 seems to be set up in a pretty good spot. But we do have the Panther coming in on its side.
Meanwhile, Stewart's getting very aggressive, it looks like, into point. But it's pretty clear North Pass is going to go for NPA.
Yeah, just way too slow on the point.
Meanwhile,
and there goes that Stewart.
Armor fight going on in the north. As the second armor piece for 7 Cav has been destroyed, so NPA dominating the armor game early here as 7 Cav tries to start to make their attack onto point.
Yeah, and they've got that tank set up on Hill 15 to just pummel down Hate. from a distance as they take out transport trucks, supply trucks all over the place. What's the next point here? Looks like Waybox. So 7th Cav does have maybe a little bit of advantage using their offense as a defense here.
100%. Can you keep an eye on Weibach as we, and I'll keep an eye on what's going on here in, North Pass?
I'll hover over Waybox, but I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. Just
Quite
keep an
yet.
eye on, make sure you keep an eye on the airheads and such as they develop.
Roger.
We're seeing a little flanking maneuver, it looks like, from 7 Cav off to the far right side, but they're going to have to contend with that armor.
Yeah, it looks like that garrison that 7th Cav has been marked.
Meanwhile, Never Play Alone really excelling at getting that early pressure and just getting complete control over the town.
Yeah, we have seen in the past, in past games just this week, where that cap has been lost in the last few minutes. So it's not quite over for the 7th Cav yet, as Corporal Gibbs and Sergeant Ghoul's squad start to move in on the flank. But it looks like they'll run into some resistance from Sin and Brucinator 91.
So it'll be interesting to see what Never Play Alone's move's going to be to start putting pressure on Weibach, because they really have a commanding presence on point. But I don't. Are you seeing any movement from Never Play Alone to try to get any kind of pressure on Weibach? Or are they just happy at this early moment just to really take total control over North Pass?
No moves on Waybaki yet. They have a recon vehicle moving in from the south going north, but I don't think it's run into anything quite yet. We got the commander in chat saying own EF-34. So
Yeah, I think they're probably. I'd imagine they're gonna try to just power through right into Weibach. Right now, the front line for Never Play Alone is devastating the 7 Cav offensive. So it looks like another vehicle asset from 7 Cav is being destroyed. There's Never Play Alone is just slowly boxing 7 Cav out of the zone.
now, that being said, OPs are really well spread out on Never Play Alone's side. They have a garrison all the way on, more or less on point, but the only other garrisons they got are a bit more behind that. How is 7th Cav doing on garrison and nodes?
They put their nodes really far forward, which is just simply a mistake. Like, I'm not really sure why they moved their nodes so far up, but they did. Right now they are looking at 4 garrisons, so their garrison situation's pretty good. But yeah, it's a weird strategy to place those nodes so far forward. We haven't seen that yet, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be panning out, because it is in danger of being hit by artillery as they continue to place nodes right on the line where they're in very deep danger from Never Play Alone as they're advancing through the opening section.
Yeah, well, 7th Cav here seems to have been trying to take the hill on the other side of the river of North Pass. So if they're able to take that hill and push in, they could very simply devastate this attempt by NPA to push off the point, as it doesn't seem like NPA has a lot of people still on point.
Yeah, I like NPA's strategy here. I think they're just going for the box out, right? They want to push them all the way out of the zone and just slowly win their gunfights and force the 7 Cav back into Weibach. Especially with the way the river works, there's not a whole lot of holes for 7 Cav to use, so they're just trying to cut down those couple key choke points and then slowly but surely just work the 7 Cav back.
I'm going to rotate because 7th Cav does has quite a bit of a presence on the point itself to defend. But, yeah, they're just...
Yeah, just check your map periodically for like airheads and whatnot, just to make sure don't miss anything.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from that end. That armor that is on Hill 15 is still just raining down the hate So
Yeah, it doesn't seem like either armors from 7 Cav has really been able to effectively either spot or react to that armor, as that armor from Hill 15 continues to put rounds down towards the 7 Cav armor.
interesting to see, but NPA, for whatever reason, they're putting an airhead on point.
On what point?
North Pass.
That is interesting. So
It
7
looks
Cav
like
just put a bombing run over North Pass and didn't hit a single thing. Meanwhile, they also are placing an airhead out the back, but
we got
it's been identified, and I don't expect it to really come all the way down, as it's in a very non-advantageous position.
a bombing run coming in from NPA. It looks like it may take out that Gary on D3 keypad 2.
Yeah, plus a bunch of nodes, likely. Meanwhile, NPA has gotten significant pressure. Oh, that... Let's see... Yep, there goes this half of the 7 Cav nodes and their garrison on point, so effective bombing run from Never Play Alone, as they really box out the 7 Cav forces out of that opening square.
Yeah. Yeah, NPA is just owning that hill right now. As they push further and further in.
Yeah, and that airhead was not effective, as it has successfully been extinguished from Never Play Alone. So Never Play Alone playing a very commanding map control all over the point. Interestingly, though, it looks like Corporal Hayden from the 7 Cav has managed to sneak his way into the lines in North Pass. Is he getting any of those OPs or anything down from Never Play Alone?
Well, Never Play Alone has a lot of their OP spread out, but their airhead is lighting up hot, so they know somebody's there. So he may be trying to sniff out this garrison that's on point, but
He just went down.
he's dead.
So yeah, I think right now we're just waiting for that airhead from Never Play Alone, but they've really successfully just boxed 7 Cav completely out of the zone.
Never Play Alone is just moving their tanks up to. They still have the one on Hill 15. They have another one setting up on the hill just across from the river from Waybach Outlook. As another 7th Cav tank goes down.
Yeah, right now Never Play Alone's armor game is superior, as 7 Cav has already used up all their fuel, and with very limited node income, it doesn't look like they're going to have much answer for Never Play Alone here shortly.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen every single match. Everybody, even Never Play Alone, they've moved some of their nodes up, which is fine, but they're all in that H line. Like they, as soon as they cross the line, they place them all down, they build them, and then they're done. And
Yeah.
they're creating passive income for that 30 seconds or so it would take them to move up and be even further up.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like with the 45-minute games that there needs to be much of an emphasis on getting those nodes moved up. It's just a high risk, low reward situation.
That's right.
It seems like now 7 Cav's starting to place some nodes on the strong point itself. Again, just
not a good move.
no, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's like one bombing run over the point, and there you go. Your nodes are gone again.
Another vehicle going down from the 7th Cav. As NPA just coming up with this devastating wave. Now, they have a supply drop going in the C31 So I think what they might try and do is the Lexix Untied will maybe try and push up on the north side of the map, get that garrison down, and then sweep into Waybach from behind.
Yeah, meanwhile, the 7 Cav seems to have taken a defensive posture as Never Play Alone is slowly but surely working back 7 Cav forces.
Did 7th Cav already use their airhead?
Yeah, it was a poorly placed airhead on the back line, very easily sniffed out. Didn't really get any value out of that.
They've got it. So Never Play Alone has an AT gun set up in the GF3 line all the way at the north side of the map, shooting onto the point. So they are just using this long range bombardment of heavy explosives to try and push back the 7th Cav lines. And it is working.
Yeah. And slowly but surely, Never Play Alone is just overwhelming the 7 Cav force on the 3-4 columns. 7 Cav is just being overwhelmed by Never Play Alone. I really like this approach from Never Play Alone. They're really going for just a straight up, let's just push them out approach as opposed to trying to do any kind of long, crazy flanks. And in this way, they're not really needing to commit too many forces to North Pass itself. They're just slowly but surely just pushing the 7 Cap back and forcing their lines in.
I'm just curious what's going on in chat right now. Like, do we change the plan? The fact that, one, they lost the cap race significantly. Like, this is kind of embarrassing.
Well, I think we've seen it. Like, North Pass has a clear advantage for the Axis. Like, North Pass
yeah,
is every match, North Pass has gone the way to the Axis. So there is a slight Axis tint on the original cap for North Pass. The difference is, though, is that the U.S. has a really easy access point to get in, and that bridge is pretty much everything for the Axis power. So it's just a harder point to hold for the Axis, but they definitely get the advantage early on.
All right. Yeah, and we see here NPA is slowly working their way up the hill onto Waybog Outlook. So as I have a plate of tacos in front of me that I am going to start eating.
Ooh, exciting. No, looks like Never Play Alone also... Can you check Never Play Alone in the backline, make sure they're all good? They have some guys who are getting close.
Yeah.
All those guys are good, though. They're starting to make a flank onto,
Yeah, they're right on the line, but they're on the right side of it.
Perfect. So we're seeing Never Play Alone infiltrating into Waybach itself. Just the majority of the 7 Cap force, so most, if not all, the garrisons around the point on Waybach has been taken, as 7 Cav commits to some really wide flanks. It doesn't seem like they've given up most of their front line for these wide flanking maneuvers, and NPA is just basically going right up the gut, just overpowering.
They've been taking out these tanks as they come out of spawn, mining up the road, and all that good stuff. So just utterly devastating for the Cav to try and push in, since there's only 3 roads to get into Waybach from the center cap.
Yep, so I'll watch the north side of Waybach, like near the border, if you want to watch the other side.
Yeah. I'm behind it just watching some people to make sure they don't cross the line.
That works. Alright, yeah, watch it from behind, I'll watch it from the Never Play Alone perspective. We'll get kind of both.
I mean, from my perspective, it all looks like Never Play Alone, because they're pushing in from the south, they're pushing in from the north. They're just pushing,
Yeah.
and it's working.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, 7 Cav is a huge force. So this is a similar strategy we saw from BDSQ. A huge force trying to push themselves the far side around, and it doesn't really pay off. Like, if you don't have any significant front line, committing so many forces on the flank, we've yet to see be effective. So it'll be interesting to see if 7 Cav is able to do something a little different here, but it has yet to proven to be much of an effective tactic. And
I just saw the
now,
Moot's body fly up in the air.
yep, now we're getting cap progress on Waybach. I don't think the 7 Cav is going to be able to answer. They're going to need to do an immediate redeploy here to counter this push by NPA. If they're not making that call very shortly, I foresee this going completely towards Never Play Alone. And without any nodes or resources, no reinforce available for 7 Cav. So
Yeah, we got a bombing run coming in from NPA in the direction of Mackey, or Private First Class Mackey and John there. So it may take out about 4 people here.
yeah, I think this is. I don't see 7 Cav is slow to react to this cap progress, and really it's too late. There's not much that's going to happen here to go back in 7 Cav's way. NPA has definitely won this cap race here. And that bombing run will put the nail in the coffin for the 7 Cavs hold on Waybach. Never Play Alone during commanding lead while 7 Cav tries to do some very bold flanking maneuver, but just really no value out of it. It's the front line from Never Play Alone just simply overwhelmed and pushed through the point to take Waybach.
Yeah, all the 7th Cav spawns seem to be kind of far away and on the north side, but they've been snuffed out by Nothing Too Fancy and Gato Rocket.
Yeah, too little, too late. This is and Never Play Alone has easily secured this cap, so we'll see how much time 7 Cav will have to react and respond to this first cap. Great work by Never Play Alone, just forcing that front push. So 106.50. So we'll play, what's that, 51 minutes, 50 seconds?
Yes. Yeah.
So 7 Cav, now 15 minutes to recapture. And we'll see what 7 Cav can put together here. As 7 Cav puts in a late bombing run on Waybach, not really going to do them much good here as that bombing run comes in. It is going to get a couple kills, but with no one really in striking distance. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe.
Yeah. Heir apparent, the keyboard commander just coming in being like, hey guys, we just got to hold steady for 15 minutes as he telegrams it out to all of his team.
And you let them know they have 51 minutes, 50 seconds to hold?
50 seconds?
Yes, 51 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yeah, NPA just taking the command on that point. Yeah, they just have an overwhelming presence on the point.
We do have 7 Cav with a couple flanking outposts in an okay position. So we'll see if, without having that pressure of having to defend while attacking, if they're able to dislodge Never Play Alone from Waybach.
I appreciate these messages from Heir Apparent. Like, team, we are building at Overlook. It is your home now. All right, build a homestead.
I love it. Keeping it fun from Never Play Alone.
All right. I wonder if this armor is moving up. All right, they moved their armor off of Hill 15 to attack Waybach from that northern road. I just want to say quick thank you to both teams for participating in this charity tournament. I know the 7th Cav is the organization that I'm a part of, and they have no choice but to participate, but I still appreciate it. Both of these teams are 1 and 2 for the amount donated for this charity tournament, and without them, we would not have raised about 66% of the funds raised thus far. So, just a thank you to Never Play Alone and the 7th Cav for just the sheer generosity showed towards this event. What's the 7th Cav trying to do here? Are they just like, are they making a line and pushing in from the south here?
Yeah, it seems like that's about their method right now, seeing what they can do. One advantage you have with being to not have to worry about defense is you can just choose which side you want to try to overwhelm. And that's what the 7 Cav seems to be trying to do. They're really putting all their forces on the south and doing an L-shaped assault. But right now you have dyslexic untied, and like SYM from Never Play Alone. 2 squad leaders that are kind of in the 7 Cav lines, being absolutely disruptive of any kind of maneuvering. Seven Cav works to fight their way back into the point.
Yeah, with the resource race the way it is, it looks like Never Play Alone just has so many resources right now. They've got 354 munitions, 576 manpower, almost 900 fuel.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 7 Cav is completely wiped on all resources. Porting some nodes, getting them up early and getting them up good.
And not getting them up on the point or on the line where the enemy is attacking from.
Yep. All about those basics.
Yeah, to anybody from the 7th Cav, we're not trying to hate too hard, but you guys complain like, oh, we don't play to the meta, we don't do this, but then you fail to play the basics of the game. Sorry.
Yeah, let's try to keep it positive though. I think we'll see what we can get going here. As Never Play Alone has a pretty good clench over the point. However, 7 Cav has fought their way into the point as it's that Corporal Mitchelson squad has found their way in.
Yeah, Hayden's just gone behind this tiger and is trying to shoot it in the back as Artie comes down on top of it.
So we're actually seeing We might start to see some cap progress here as 7 Cav has managed to take control over. Yep, and there it is. Cap progress from 7 Cavs. They've been able to retake control over Waybach. And there goes the Tiger. So this is interesting here. I mean, Never Play Alone's in a good position to react, but right now, 7 Cav has found their way and weaseled their way into Waybach as a big spawn from Never Play Alone comes in. But we are starting to see some cracks develop in the Never Play Alone defense.
Yeah, Private Dobbs here working his way onto point. However, he probably just got taken out.
I mean, this is so chaotic though. Like both teams are just within each other's lines. Like it's just the chaos of the forest, right? No, like there's not really a clear defined line. As it looks like what's that? An airhead from Never Play Alone on the point.
That is an airhead coming down. As their garrison on point is red hot, and that, I mean, they've got 4 garrisons to really respond. They've got one right on the line.
Meanwhile, they've retaken capture progress and have resecured the center point stronghold. Now, what is being effective right now from the 7 Cav is they have just taken out 2 armor assets from Never Play Alone, so yeah, we might see a little bit of a shift in the power balance now with that armor support being lost as 7 Cav is starting to make progress on their middle assault.
Got a bombing run coming in from Never Play Alone.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. 1, 2,
3.
and 1. Oh, easy Buck Compton really playing it close. So maybe not as much value as they would have liked, but 3 kills, not the end of the world for Never Play Alone. And they have the resources to blow, right?
Yeah, they've got over 1,000 fuel right now, so if they ever want to convert that, they can. They haven't really been losing tanks.
So we're at the 5-minute mark. Well, 7 Cav are slowly making progress into the point as Never Play Alone is kind of reconsolidated around that center.
All right, I'm just watching 2 people from Never Play Alone as they're kind of right on top of that North HQ.
Okay.
They haven't killed anybody yet, so it's okay. I think they're just using it to maneuver through.
Yeah, and as long as they're recon elements and not spawn camping, that's fine.
Looks like they're just pushing through.
So, how's Never Play Alone looking for garrisons and outposts? Looks like 7 Cav is starting to get a pretty significant map control around Waybach.
They have 3 garrisons in the Waybach. So they have 1 on point. They have 1 in C31, or not 1, 7. And they've got 1 in C62. So they are doing work, but they've got they have another 3 garrisons by North Pass. One's on point again, which I don't think is a smart move, but hey. But they are taking control of the north side of the map.
Is
As
that cap on reserve station legit?
that is recon. Yeah, that's the recon element that was moving in from the north side.
Gotcha. So we're looking at 2-minute mark. So with 2 minutes left, 7 Cap has to get it done here, as they are pushing with significant force into Weibach, but no capture progress. I'm assuming they have a reinforce on point from Never Play Alone.
No, they just have everybody on point. There just hasn't been a single reinforce yet from Never
Yeah.
Play Alone.
And there's cap progress for 7 Cap, but I think it's going to be too little too late as we approach the.
Yeah, I mean, if they just put down a reinforce now, it'll be gone. And
Yeah. So Never Play Alone showing the power of just doing that straight front line approach and having a really consistent and firm front to just push out the 7 Cav offensive.
yeah, it looks like Second Lieutenant Savin and Dalton have kind of moved in to stall out this reserve station.
And with 1 minute left, that will definitely, first round will be going to Never Play Alone. I'm going to do a quick score check.
If I was overly critical to the Cav, I apologize.
Well, we just always want to keep it positive. Um,
All right.
Not really any reason to be negative during these things.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so 10-second mark. I'll give you the countdown for the flip.
All right.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip.